a live merch scene.
Welcome to the Silent Hill Ascension post-show. We went from a scandalo to a scandal no, but I'm still Layla, and that's still Eduardo. Eduardo, did we just watch? Or rather, what didn't we watch?
There were some whispers on your screen. A lot of you spotted things that were weird, so ignore that for now. We also saw Carl with a smile. That was creepy. That was very creepy.
Yeah. Didn't I know I say this a lot. It's kind of a line of mine at this point. Didn't like it. Unsettling. Not a fan.
No. Oh, are you not a fan? All right. And there's a new fan. Yes. By the way, one of the things I guess is, by the way, for this post show, Layla, our audience is going to want to stick out to the end. A, because they have our delightful company, and that's the most important thing.
Of course.
But B, there will be a special surprise at the end of our post-show segment. So do stick around for it. It'll be worth your time. But yeah, in the meantime,
you get to talk to us about cameos.
Yes, I do. That's going to be on screen. It's how can you at home be the extra in Silent Hill Ascension? You can take part in those cameo contests regularly, and those cameo contests are entered with influence points, a key part of how Silent Hill Ascension works, right, Layla?
Absolutely. One important aspect for Silent Hill Ascension is our cameo system, because you, as an audience member, can be part of the Silent Hill canon forever. Each day, you and other audience members can enter a cameo contest to have parts in the series entered with influence points. We had a legend the other day, right? The Schrodinger's cameo. Did he live? Did he not live? He didn't live. But for a minute there was some guesswork. And that could be you.
Yeah, right. Leonardo's 5 essentially was doomed to die from the community due to a damnation choice, but kind of lived because we showed the wrong scene. But the right scene was done. Rachel went down damnation, and I can confirm Leonardo's 5 was very much eaten by the Snarl, as should be the fate of all other cameos, having a horrible, horrible death scene. It's very important.
We love to feed cameos to the Snarlers, don't we? I think that's the second or third time that's happened. And you know what? I'm pro. If I was going to pick any monster to go out by, I think Snarlers is one of them for sure. But let's revisit Leonardo's 5, who's here, says, I got to pet the puppies. You did! Congratulations. You're dead now. So it's time to take a look at one of the videos that premiered today, which is Eric makes his decision about Xavier's order for him to sleep with Krista, changing their relationship forever.
Yeah. I mean, it was a change in the relationship, right? In the will they, won't they? Won't they?
Won't they? Didn't they?
Didn't they? They didn't. That was the thing, right? To be fair, the audience got us in for a roller coaster, right? It was very close from start to finish. Like, both options were neck and neck. It looked, honestly, as we started the broadcast, it looked like the damnation choice would win, but it seemed like, to me at least, this is my personal take, I think there was a coordinated group that really wanted kind of Eric to not do this, whether it was, faithfulness to Rachel, doubtful, whether it was kind of protecting Eric, more likely, or not trusting Xavier, extremely likely, didn't happen. And Krista's kind of like, and get out.
Yeah, So because she's a decisive lady, but interestingly enough, in terms of a coordinated effort for Eric to stay on the redemption path, there was also a coordinated effort to get him to fail the endure. It didn't succeed, but it got close.
Yeah, now it's kind of funny, right? It's like, well, you didn't let Eric go down, we're gonna take him down with us, right? It's just, there's multiple ways for characters to die. Eric is really a fan favorite, though. I know there are a lot of fans in the audience for Eric, so it's gonna be a tall order. If you're somebody who doesn't want Eric to kind of survive, that's gonna be a taller order. I think the other characters, it kind of depends. Astrid, I think, is one of those characters that the audience is kind of like given to and take, but Eric, very much an audience favorite, always the redemption path, very much positive hope. And that doesn't just come from the endurance scenes, that's also the puzzles. So there's a lot of concerted effort from the audience to protect.
Yeah, his hope is high. Y'all really like Eric, if that's your thing. I'm just kidding. He's lovely, but it's been very interesting to see the shift, right? Especially considering Rachel is also a character that we have been monitoring, and she's not doing as hot. But that's okay.
Yeah, I will give this to the choice with Rachel, right? At least she went with it on herself. She's like, I'm looking for my daughter. I'm the one who's gonna have to do it. I will give that to Rachel. No matter what everybody's in the audience like or dislike the character, she's a woman of action who decided to. I wouldn't do what she did.
She's a woman of action thanks to the audience, because I could have gone two other ways that were not as self-possessed. But we've been spending a lot of time on Eric. I just want to give props to my girl Krista, who exits a room with, "That's not my problem. We should all aspire to be more like Krista."
Yeah, it's like, not my problem, you deal with it. Yeah, that's fair. We don't talk about Krista that much, but a character in a lot of, because like, when Krista appears in a scene, there's like definitely a presence, right? That's a really key thing, is like Krista has a presence when she's in a scene, and she really kind of warps the action around her, which I find fascinating given her relative position.
Yeah, listen, she's got a commanding bun and a commanding tone, and I love that for her. We should all aspire to be quite so, again, self-possessed. But hey, we have a kind of newish segment, I believe a news segment for all of you. Let's talk about Eric's character profile so far. Production will put up that graphic on screen for you, and Eduardo will boldly walk you through it.
Right, so something we want to start doing for all of you in the audience is, the weeks go by, characters do different things. We kind of want to highlight the character specifically. So here, this is like Eric's current character profile: strong redemption, positive hope. But by the way, we have to, we prepare these in the background. So, I didn't on the fly change it, but, top decision and most heated decisions for Eric. Top decision is, what side will Eric tell Xavier he's on? Face. That was strongly redemption. I think that's a really highlight for Eric. It's the side of, he's not about the Foundation. He's about his daughter. That's what matters to him. And then the most heated decision, which, trust me, will change because of some other thing that happened, is how will Eric respond to Krista saying, "I do deserve better," over the closest option, which was, "I love my wife on suffering." He decided to, "I do deserve better," but that "I do deserve better" wasn't Krista.
Yeah, he deserves better, and right now that sounds like a single dad's vacation in the Maldives or something, Right now he's choosing himself. It's going to be an pray love, or an Eric pray love. That was low-hanging fruit that I didn't catch. I love that for him. I think he deserves it. He's had a tough time, clearly. But no, Eric is very interesting because he is shaping up to be such a fan favorite. Strong redemption, strong hope. Strong hope is not something I predicted for any character. It was not on my bingo board for Silent Hill Ascension, so I'm glad he's pulling it out, because when I looked at that meter today, it's high. It's real high. He's doing pretty okay considering his situation.
No, Eric is, like how they have employee of the month, most likely to do this. He's like if there was like a most likely to survive, he'd probably have the plaque right now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. We should do paper plate awards for the characters. But hey, speaking of Eric, we should talk about Pennsylvania and what's going on in there generally. So, Eduardo, would you mind recapping for us?
Sure, of course. So here's the thing, right? Pennsylvania, we talked about this in the pre-show. Rachel deals with the Foundation recruit as monsters close in on her home. And to deal with it, closes the door and lets the recruit get even, which is great. But then, Rachel has to deal with her own traumatic event as she finds a perfect version of Faith waiting for her at home. but she's unsure if she can trust it. If you've seen that scene, and if you haven't, do me a favor, do watch it. Yeah, I wouldn't trust that thing, whatever it is. Now, we saw that thing, right, where Eric goes to Krista to talk to her about the idea of them taking their relationship to the next level, neck and neck, very conflicted, but ended up, deciding, you know what, I'm gonna just stop here.
Ended up same level, right? Ended up co-workers with tension, which is that's kind of what they are, all right? Which, hey, man, I get it. Again, genuinely surprised that that's the way it ended up. But man, that redemption campaign was really something.
Yeah, but again, it's about like the character of Eric over the long term. That's actually a really key part, right? Like obviously like the point decisions are interesting, but these characters' arc over the long terms are what matter, right? It's like at the end of the season, like, who do you want to see survive or not is what can matter to some people. So like, there is a strong camp that really wanted Eric to be protected, and that can be understood, right? Like if he's a fan favorite, that's why that option's chosen. It's and again, actually we have a little bit of time. Would you listen to Xavier? He's like, oh yeah, let's do some good old fashioned melding. We got a Morgie coming. You're like, I'm sorry, wait, what?
All right, you've worked with me for 2 years. Listen to anyone who wouldn't give me context for something they were asking me to do. Someone comes in and says, Layla, jump. I have 40 questions for you before I do it. Right? Like, why am I jumping? How high? Where to? What's the purpose? What's the after effects? What's the impact, right, on the budget? Like, that's, come on. I would not listen to Xavier, that shady. He is a messy bee who loves drama. I've said it before. I'm saying it again, because if you are upstairs, you are looking at this woman who you trusted and you fired her, and your first instinct is to go downstairs and go, oh, I'm going to go mess with her marriage.
Oh no, for sure. And again, as a reminder for everybody who's hanged out so far, at the end of this post show, we will have a little bit of a special surprise for you. So do stick around for the rest of our post show in Layla's company and mine. Hopefully you're finding it delightful. Our production team's going to put up Norway on screen. I'm going to walk you through that because there was a lot in Pennsylvania. Obviously, we put a lot of the drama, but that's what happens, right? So Astrid basically tells Carl what she plans to do with the deed to the family farm. Sal. Then we have Hogan tells Astrid that her daughter Asta has returned from the dead and knows where to find Orson. And finally, Eva urges Carl to take justice into his own hands after Mete's death. I want to talk about that scene where Carl sees himself smiling.
You do?
Yeah. What's up with that?
Yeah, okay. So that's what you want to talk about, is that all right. Well, it happened, and he was very close to the camera, and I saw his pores, and it was unsettling, and I hate to say it, I didn't like it.
Yeah. Now, here's the fun fact. You've been working on scenes like this for a while, Layla, like, because you were on the development. So how, could you explain to us the process of making that scene as unsettling as it was?
Yeah, we sit in feedback sessions, and our wonderful, talented, brilliant, beautiful cinematics team brings us increasingly horrendous iterations of scenes, and I have to watch them multiple times and comment on them. And you know what? I've seen that smiling clip many, many times. I didn't like it from the first time I saw it. I like it even less now, but I'm glad I don't have to review it anymore. But in real talk, creating those beats is like such an intersection of not only the visuals, but like guidance on what makes the actual story work, guidance from our internal leads about like what sells that beat as scary, in terms of timing, in terms of audio, in terms of editing, in terms of the visuals. Like it's such an monumental effort or product of teamwork, as any product like this is, as any product, but as any project like this is, and truly, like, hats off to our teams. They're all incredible, and thank you all. There's a million of you, but it's working on it is it's difficult and it's a lot, but when it pays off, it's super satisfying. And to everybody who worked on that scene.
Yeah, and I'm glad you, the audience at home, when you have trouble sleeping tonight, remembering Carl's gentle horrifying smile as you drift to bed and sleep. You'll remember that, and enjoy it. But it did open up a lot of the questions, right? Like what happened with Carl there. That was definitely like a big shift change, right? Because there's kind of like this, with what happened with Ingrid, right? There's like this kind of semi-unsolved mystery. Mete had the morphing. Something was really weird, and then that just seemed to open up quite a few questions.
Yes, like what?
I mean, was the monster in me all along? Anyway, the thing is, Astrid's gonna have to, Carl's gonna have to deal with himself, and Astrid has to deal with, well, not herself. She has to deal with Hogan.
Yes. I mean, Astrid has had a lot on her plate kind of this entire time, right? And I think one of the things that would maybe be least helpful to her right now is 2 dads. Right, she's kind of already struggling with having the one.
2 dads, one and worser.
Yeah, dad and dad parentheses auntie. But yeah, it's she's got a lot going on, and poor Haugen is. Well, again, I would be concerned if I were her friend. But c'est la vie in these foggy times, right? Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, the fog is going up for sure.
But hey, speaking of Astrid, what is the profile for you?
Yeah, so good in New Future. We had to do it twice. So, anyways, no, it's fine. We hope you do enjoy those character profiles. Just focus a little bit more on the people behind the story. Kind of look at them a little bit zoomed out from the rest of the story. So here, Astrid. Interestingly, strong redemption and positive hope. Was negative actually when I started these segments, but the thing with her character profile is. She has minor damnation, and a lot of that we'll talk about it is her relationship with her sister. Because when you look at the top decision, right, that was one of the first ones. Was what will Astrid do with evidence of Carl's guilt? Turn it over to the police redemption. It wasn't close, but it was very decisive. A ton of you decided this is what needs to happen. Now the heated decision was every time it involves Astrid and her sister Britt, like this one, how will Astrid handle Britt missing the funeral? Damnation on be understanding over lecturing her. It's kind of this tension between you want to do the right thing, but that right thing seems to be the damnation option a lot of the time. So Astrid's kind of on this redemption arc with everything except when it comes to her sister Britt.
Yeah, because the impulse is to be nice, right? But okay, so we have more context on what Britt is doing and seeing as the audience than Astrid does, right? Because Astrid kind of doesn't know what to do, right? Her sister's in recovery. She's been away for a long time. So to her, right, being the big sister, maybe I'm projecting, but you want to be firm because you think that's the best thing to do for them. Meanwhile, Britt also seeing stuff and also struggling. Like she is also mired in all this kind of like foggy business and has been the subject of some duplicitousness on the side of the monsters where things are happening that people blame on her, but it's not her. We had the phone call. The bar. So it's it's interesting that those choices involve so much perspective.
Yeah, and the audience is torn. I see it, right? I see it as the audience doesn't know necessarily how they want that relationship to advance, not in a bad way, but in a kind of conflicted, like, really these two, like, for these two options, we're not 100% sure. And the option is always close. Like, I chose this one, but the other two are the same. The very close decisions between Astrid and Britt. And I wonder how that relationship's going to develop over time. And I hope you, the audience at home, are enjoying kind of seeing that relationship develop between Astrid and Britt and where it's going to head off. Because frankly, it is fascinating to me, like, kind of, because they're clearly estranged at the start. And now there's like kind of a bit more of an understanding. But where's that going to lead to is kind of what's going on.
It's understanding because Carl is going on an eat, pray, Carl, or at least trying to. And his excuse was, well, I was just being in your way looking for my grandson. Sir, be so serious and so for real right now. What are you talking about? So I don't know if there's so much as an understanding as there is a Carl wants to do something and is trying to be nice to his daughter to minimize the impact of the thing he's doing that's going to hurt her. But hey, speaking of family dramas in Norway, we got a decision graphic for you. Let's talk through it.
Right. So something appeared today, right? The decision that's opening today essentially is, what will Astrid say she saw? So this is, she could say that she admitted to seeing the monsters, redemption. She could deny seeing anything, which is suffering. Or she could just question Hagen's sanity straight up. Go like, nah, she's crazy. I didn't see any monsters. Nope, not me.
Nope, no monsters here. Yeah. Not the force. So how much damage? Or not the force. She's on administrative leave. How much damage could she do if she was being sassy about it? But at the same time, if I was seeing monsters and also my son was missing, I think I'd be looking for all the friends I could possibly have.
Yeah. By the way, we had a few things in chat while we've been going. Somebody was saying they did a lot of job on the wiki, which is thank you. Hope you're enjoying the story and catching up. As we go along, as the story develops, it's kind of interesting to have a developing story that, weekday after weekday, you get a bit more. And by the way, yeah, Leonardo coming back with Drink, Pray, Farm. See, we have the Morgie puns. Now we're moving on to the Carl puns, which is also great. Big fan. But, here with kind of that relationship between Astrid and Hogan, to me is fascinating because it was very antagonistic to start with. But now Astrid clearly seems to have more power over Hogan, given what's going on.
Yeah, the dynamics have definitely shifted there. And it's interesting because Hogan was definitely a thorn in her side for a while there. Clearly she's got some personal, regarding her daughter that we will surely unravel. But man, there's a lot of sad people running around that little Norway town. Town.
Oh yeah, no kidding. It's just horrifying. Would you really want to live there? I don't know. Honestly, the thing is, Layla, I don't know if I want to live in that town of Norway. Actually, I do know. I don't want to. I definitely don't want to live in that Pennsylvania area either.
I was gonna say, if I was gonna pick one or the other, I'd go with the one with the free health.
And on that note, So remember, Layla's gonna walk us through the end, but don't leave just now. We got a special surprise that's gonna play for you as we bow out. So do stick around for that. You're not far off. You're a couple of minutes. Layla, if you could recap all the action we see. Obviously, there's been a lot. This has not been a light show in many, many ways.
No, it's been quite dense, Eduardo. Listen, we got, so, in Norway, we got Carl, he got his girlfriend burned to a crisp, ripped to a queen. His daughter's still struggling to find her son, and now the cop that was dogging her is asking for her help and thinks she's seeing her dead daughter everywhere. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, well, we got Xavier up to his messy machinations, and Rachel is stuck in the house with Faith. But you know what didn't happen? Eric didn't cheat on her, didn't merge. So that's what happened. But Eduardo, I believe you'll tell us, or actually we have a graphic about what our next shows are coming up. So production would throw that up. As per always, you can join us on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for a pre-show. The show is Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and then you can come right back and join us for the post-show. It'll be me, it'll be Eduardo, it'll be our wonderful, beautiful, talented co-host Noah, who's not here today, and then, occasionally we have interviews. It's a good time. Please join us. But I believe...
No, we do. So, it's going to be the end of the night for us. We're going to bow out. Now, one thing, Layla, right, is... there's going to be a what if season. So we'll get to probably see what would have happened. But, we talked internally, so we had some chatter internally about it. And our CEO Jacob made a executive call that why wait when clearly that's what the audience would like to see. So what's going to happen is I'm going to blow out this candle and you're going to enjoy the scene. So it's been a delight being with all of you. Layla, thank you so much. So enjoy.
You came.
I wanted to talk.
About what?
About what Xavier asked of us. Krista, I'm still married.
I know you feel guilty about what she did to herself, but that was her choice. Eric, Rachel's not here, but I am. What are you smiling about?
I don't know. I just feel happy.
Me too.
Do you think that's the point? To make enough happiness to fight back the...
Shh. Enough talk about that.